watching the video. I'm doing a deeper dive into the whole Mojave Bundle. And is it really worth the $32 after tax? That's how much I had to pay in my area. Because nowadays, well, each area is different on how much you got paid with the tax. And pretty much the pros and cons of the bundle. And how much does it really take to actually get the Ad Victoriam like I have on my cover? So, yes, I'm not really using a Ranger's helmet. I do like the Winterman's helmet, in my opinion, but I will switch it on later. So, first thing I'm going to do is go over some of the camp items we do get with the bundle, which is the Las Vegas sign and the NCR flag. It's pretty much just that. I kind of wish the Las Vegas sign actually came with a radio signal like we did with the quest. That's the only grievance I have is with that sign. Otherwise, it's just there. Nothing else. It doesn't even do any, like, a Mojave radio station that I was actually hoping for. So, let me switch it back into my shelter and let's take a look at some of the other stuff we have gotten from the bundle. Okay, we did get the Legion helmet, and I'm not really a big Legion fan. So for those who are, I guess it's the type of bundle you might like. And what else? We had the Legion outfit. So give me 1 second. And it's not too costly on getting the materials, like 5 cloth, 5 steel. I'll just make it real quick. And yeah, may seem okay. It's just not my cup of tea, if you ask me. You don't really get a full cape. It just comes back around to the front of the holster, if you ask me. And what's the point of that? I mean, really? You had to make it almost like a, what, halfway diaper, almost, if you ask me? Like, why are you trying to cover the man's back end? So, yeah, I'm not too impressed with this particular Legion stuff. As I was saying in yesterday's video on the weekly sale. Now, I touched here there on the Ad Victoriam sledgehammer. It was taking 7 aluminum, 7 gear, 2 legendary models, and 10 plastic. You can pretty much see it right there on the side, but the hardest items you can get a hold of are the screws and the aluminum. Everything else you can get a hold of quite easily. As you can see, I have gone through just about, I say, 5k in resources. I had more before the video and was testing a few, like seeing how many I would need to actually create. So I went through quite a bit just to learn the charging effect. Now, I do have it when it's fully modified and so forth. And nice thing about it is they didn't make it so you can't change out the perks on it. So in case like you want to put on the adrenaline, which each kill you do stacks up. So yeah, it does build up nicely. And one thing I have noticed, if you exit your power, sometimes some of these weapons they clean out, or if you change out your player build from bloody to a heavy guns build. So it does stay with you as you change around. And I think the only thing it does the charge or empties out is when you die. So that's only downfall if you're a little bit soft. But only thing I would say I would change between rapid is the heavy hitters adding more damage. But hey, you have that option if you do or don't want to do that. the modifications is pretty much only your standard, which you get at, right now I'm saying about 500, not too bad. But that's only because I'm not using my full bloody. But once I put on the heating coil, it goes up to about, let's say, I want to say 1500 with the burning damage added on. So it does stack up nicely. And you can change out the skin, so we do have that. Now, how many did it take me to actually learn it? Um, Now, I will say a big thank you for Crash Bones X. He gave me some materials like the aluminum screws because I actually had ran out of all that. So big thanks to him for giving me some supplies so I can actually learn the charging mod. Because the only way you can get this charging mod is stage 3 of the raids. So do you want to keep on going to the raids with a slim jump of 10% of learning this, or getting a box mod, I should say? And that's not even counting on how to learn it. Yes, it takes 3 fusion cores and 120 legendary modules. It's still steep, as usual with any 4-star mod, but the point is on either pro or con, yes, we still have that high price tag of $30, or going through the raids over and over again, trying to get the proper mod you want. And that's dealing with the Guardian, then the drill, which quite honestly still is a pain unless you are cheating the system. I only have a few ways of getting past the drill without cheating, and then hitting the Axlon squad and passing it. Because once you get to the Axlon squad, it's quite easy. It's just that drill area is still a pain to get past. So to me, some of that cost is justified and some of it isn't. But another way I look at it is, since I just got the Ad Victoriam, I can also put it with my Ghoul character for testing. So I'm not even just buying for this one character, I'm also buying for my any new characters I put together later on down the road. So I try to look at it that way as a savings. Now, whether or not they add this into the Atomic Shop, I'm not sure. I quite honestly rather them have it there, but we all know that was with Microsoft. So I'm 100% with the other players on this could have been a Atomic Shop item you can just purchase. So yeah. Now I did a little bit of testing earlier, as you saw in my workbench. I will just show again. It's a little bit easier this way. I have an auto axe with charge to do some testing with it later on in this video. And then just showing the difference between what we have with the Ad Victoriam with power and what you have with auto axe with charge. So that's just something to give you a heads up what I'll be doing in a little bit. Now before I leave the workshop here, let's talk about the power armor paint skin and a few things my friend Jigmay had noticed and said to me about. So before I do anything, let me pull out my power, and yes, I did put it on the Strangleheart because I like poisoning the hell out of the Wendigos, because that's another way you can get screws at the Morgan mine shaft. Let me just switch out to my bloody. There we go. Okay, this is somewhat good light, and just to get more light onto this, still better than nothing. Okay, so we have what looks like binoculars on the one arm, the nice design of the NCR on the chest, I do love the blades. I still wish we could actually have this like a nose power modification for the T45. That's what I'm assuming is what it's supposed to be off of, not T60. I mean, that's not too far of a stretch because T60 to me and T45 almost look the same, just without the anchors. But I'm assuming they scrapped together. Who knows? Maybe it was a mix of the T45 and T60. Would make sense to do it that way because I would see the legs be T51 and say the arms being T60, the chest being T45, and then the head, who knows? Maybe they just scrapped it together just for the looks. I mean, you have the blades in the back, and then I'm assuming at first glance, I thought these like smoke grenade launchers on the back shoulder, but then again, thinking this is a Fallout universe, this might be a condensed jetpack because that would make more sense given our character's nature, the game nature of it all, of having a jetpack system onto the back. So I'm not quite sure what it is. I mean, I do love having a little light on the top of the helmet. Makes sense. And yeah, just this and that. I kind of wish we had like just about a whole nother power armor to go with. I know it wouldn't be as strong since it's a mix and match like Vader style power armor almost. But this is NCR, and you would think they would do more of a better job scrapping it together because they don't have the technology to make their own stuff because that's after the bomb's dropping. I mean, could this be a jetpack? Could this be a missile launch system? I'm not sure, but it does give me hope that maybe they'll add another power armor in later seasons, say not 24 that we're coming up to, but maybe season 25 when the next season the TV show comes out. Who knows? We might get another power armor and just have this as a reskin for all the other armors. I do hope we do get a easier. There's so much I can say and so much there is to say about it. Okay, now this is the testing of the charge with a pretty much the Ad Victoriam sledgehammer, and I don't see my usual goal. I can test it out on. Oh, here you go. Now sometimes the strikes don't build up. You see in the bottom right corner that shows the axe. So you do have to keep an eye on that. Once it hits 3, you can actually bash attack and do the explosion damage. So I'm at 2. If I do one more, plus onto a Deathclaw. Where is my little Deathclaw? Ah, there he is. Hold still. Now, at times I can actually get him to about half health with just a few strings. And sometimes, since I have paint train on, that does build up and do more damage to him. And that's one Deathclaw down. Now I'm going to try it on the other axe that has... Now, what type of infection do I have? I just noticed I just got that from fighting him. Shell shock. Let me think here. Action points drain faster. I should be fine. I should drink some coffee though. I mean, too, they update the tents to having the 8 boxes. I'm kind of a little bit lost. Doesn't seem to be stacking well on the RX. Let me make sure I have the correct auto axe anyway. Yeah, that's charge. So it does not really work on any automatic weapon, it looks like. It has to be one that you actually swing or punch with. Now where do you go to? That's kind of sad when they run away from you. Okay, you are a bright one. I really gotta do something about that. There we go. And since I'm in Stranglehold, I can just stand by and let him poison himself. No, I'll just do the final blow. So yeah, it doesn't really work on automatic weapons like you think it should. So there should be some prefix description on charge saying that it doesn't work. Because it says light attacks build up, charge that releases a heavy attack. I was hoping this is one of the two 4-star weapons they will be adding into the Atomic Shop. I heard from Nuka Knights about what, a week or two ago. The next one will be a ranged weapon, and I believe it's called Lawbringer. So I'm hoping that'll be in the Atomic Shop. Now, given that it doesn't work with automatic weapons, that might be a downfall, since a lot of players like using the auto axe. But I'm sure, I think the next one I use, honestly, besides the auto axe, is actually the Ten Razor. Right here. So I might just add that combo charge onto this, which does a tad bit more damage than the sledgehammer in some ways. Let's see, there's 500. So rounded up, I say about what, 16, maybe 1700. And my sledge is doing oh 100 points more damage. So the Ad Victoriam is actually at the maximum weapon you want to have. You might find a few other weapons that have like the explosive damage already added on. I mean, hey, you can't really fault the pros and cons of this. You can't see which type of combination you like and which combination you don't like. I can probably add more damage to it later onto like the sledgehammer, because I mainly put pickpockets because I do pain train and just plow through enemies. I can just pick up the caps as I go through. So yeah, it's, I don't know, I was having more expectations with this with auto axe, but yeah, this is why I do testing, so you don't have to. Is it really worth it, or is it really grinding in the raids to get it yourself? Honestly, I know we might see some changes to the 4-star mod because it is a little overpowering, because I don't have too many melee weapons you just saw that do a great deal of damage to the rest Deathclaws. But the Ad Victoriam one actually does a great job. It only took me a few swings to finally put it down. So yeah, I'm, like I said before, with the players who rather had this in the Atomic Shop. I know they had to add another transaction into like PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, and so forth. That's upper management, quite honestly. But hey, I'm still looking at the other point of I can have this on my human character and at the same time have it for my ghoul character. That's the only pro I'm seeing for this. Skins, I can go with or without. I mean, I like the skin of the NCR that we have here, and yes, I went back to the Old Man Winter helmet. So yeah, I do like it this way. Oh, just a few enemies down below. And that's just why I go with a Strangleheart. I just wish some Palomos had more options. That's all I'm saying. Could we have like a skin? I know we have a few weapon skins. Let me pull out my tent and I'll show you. There we go. Now, a few weapon skins I can pull out my stash that are adding more to the mix. Let's see. This one has all stores. That's the skin that does. I just gotta get back to a location I can change out the. Okay, so as I was saying before, some skins do actually give a damage related increase or decrease. Now, the All Stars is something I had to scrap a whole bunch of baseball bats just to learn and so forth. But pretty much it's 100 points of damage difference, if not more. And that's just with a baseball bat. I mean, it's like a double skin almost on the baseball bat, I should say. Now, the other one I had, which does the same thing in a way, is the Gulper hand. Usually when you have the Gulper Smacker, you see the standard staff. It's, what, 400 damage with 1,000 poison? Or bleeding, I should say. And that is the sharpening, I believe. Yeah, sharpening. And honestly, the one does more damage with it. Sharpening is actually weaker. So I should probably change this to something else. But I do love the bleed damage. It used to do a great job with the robots. Now I probably should switch it out for the chain wrapped. But my point being, on this standard shaft, if you add the Acidic Gulper hand, you get more poison damage. So there's that. So I could see another skin for the Palomar skins where they used to, like in Fallout 4, added more like charisma, intelligence, and so forth, like we get with our jumpsuits. That's my only point trying to say. That we could have the same effect with the Palomars like we do with our jumpsuits that we have. So, getting back to the Mojave Bundle, is it really worth it? Quite honestly, in my opinion, it breaks even. It really does break even because in the long term, if you have to restart your character, say you want to do another Ghoul one or you want to do a new human for a new mutation they added into the game. Say we have Ghoul. I've been hearing in the a few of the players have seen the day mining super mutants we might be able to change into later. So we'd be able to use Ad Victoriam with the super mutant. That's not too bad. Instead of having to farm everything we had to do, so from ground zero to now, okay. But at the same time, I'm thinking we're just losing a little bit of money, but not too much. I still agree with everyone saying it should have been in the atomic shop for paying with atoms. So that's my only conclusion. That's my opinion. That's a no here, I should say. So thanks for watching. What do you think about the whole charging effect, not working the auto weapons and so forth? I kind of think there should be like a warning that said it didn't work. Otherwise, it has a nice effect on it. I like having the effect of another explosion effect. I wouldn't mind that on a gun, quite honestly. Like every 10 rounds, a explosion. Something like that would work too. So with that, thanks for watching. leave a few comments of what you think, and I'll see you next time.